Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. I must have got at least about in the last week or so, I must have got at least about anywhere from 700 to 900 requests, to expose the PBC, the PBC Fanboys, the LDBC, the biased boxing media, the biased new media, Dante's Biased Nation, Biased Boxing Ego, and I've been letting these guys make it. I haven't been stepping on any toes, and I haven't been saying much about it. But I'm getting overwhelming requests, so I just have to dig in and break it down and just be honest and unbiased about what we're seeing. Right now, you have a lot of biased channels and biased media spreading propaganda about fighters and promoting a false narrative. And when they promote this false narrative, you have a bunch of casual boxing fans going on my channel and many others spreading this same false narrative garbage that they don't really understand boxing. They're very casual and they come on and fanboy for guys. So we're going to just break it down fighter by fighter from the PBC, from the biased boxing media, and in the biased LDBC. We're just going to break all these guys down with nothing but facts. So the first fighter we're going to start with is Errol Spence Jr. Now, Errol Spence Jr., you have a lot of LDBC channels, a lot of biased channels, and a lot of fanboys are coming out and saying, Errol Spence Jr. is not ducking Terrence Crawford. He's collecting belts. That's a good fight with him and Shawn Porter. We support that fight. It's a unification fight. And yes, on the surface, it looks like a good fight, an entertaining matchup. And I even think that Shawn Porter can cause Errol Spence Jr. a few problems. But people are missing the obvious and what's right in front of them. Because honestly, if you're honest and unbiased about it, it's strap season now when you want to fight Shawn Porter for a belt. But why is it strap season now, but it wasn't strap season when you were fighting Mikey Garcia? Why wasn't it strap season then when you could have fought Terrence Bud Crawford for a belt? You said Keith Thurman ducked you. You said Shawn Porter ducked you. It's taken years for Errol Spence Jr. to get an opportunity to fight Shawn Porter. It's taken years to get in this position. If you think that Errol Spence Jr. is going to fight Keith Thurman next, you're sadly mistaken. Keith Thurman stated that after the Manny Pacquiao fight, he's looking to take a vacation. And Manny Pacquiao has already made it abundantly clear he's not interested in Errol Spence Jr. So why continue to delay the obvious and the inevitable fight, which is the Terrence Bud Crawford fight? That is the only fight to be made in the welterweight division. See, because if it was truly strap season and it was all about a belt and there was no ducking going on, you would have fought the guy that called you out. You would have fought the guy that offers you the biggest payday. You wouldn't be delaying it, trying to take all these mediocre fights. I don't care if it is a unification. That fight is not going to pay you what Terrence Crawford pays you. That fight is not going to give you what the Terrence Crawford fight gives you. And yes, you say you'll be the A side and you'll make more money, and people want to use that as an excuse. But here's the problem with that. What happens if you lose to Shawn Porter? Because we have to understand and be honest and unbiased. Errol Spence Jr. is not invincible. He has a lot of flaws. Yes, he put on a boxing clinic against Mikey Garcia, a guy moving up from 135, a guy who's not experienced at this level as far as the weight class. So at the end of the day, and he couldn't even knock him out, drop him, stop him, or hurt him, or stagger him in the entire fight. So what happens if things don't go according to plan? Because I think Shawn Porter surprised a lot of people against Danny Garcia with his movement. But, Shawn Porter looked lackluster against Yordenis Ugas. This is what happens when you fight good fighters back to back to back. Errol Spence Jr. has not been doing that. He's been fighting the Lamont Peterson, who I told you was a C-level fighter at best. He's been fighting Carlos Ocampo, a tomato can. And then he fought Mikey Garcia, a very small guy moving up from 135. You have to be honest and unbiased when you analyze these fights. And you can't fanboy for these guys. The cold-hearted truth is Errol Spence Jr. is vastly overrated. He's unproven at the top level of the welterweight division because his best win didn't even come against a welterweight. If you truly want to be the best, and people try to say, oh, it's about money, it's about this, it's about that. Well, you don't agree with those situations when it's about A side and money. When it comes to Canelo Alvarez, you hear a lot of fanboys saying, oh no, Canelo should just fight Jermall Charlo at any cost right now. Well, Canelo Alvarez is out there unifying titles. Canelo Alvarez is fighting the best fighters in the division. Jermall Charlo is not the best fighter in the division. He's not. So for people to criticize Canelo but give Errol Spence Jr. a pass makes absolutely no sense. And this shows that these guys are casuals to boxing. And so let's just keep it going and break it down in the heavyweight division. Then you look at Anthony Joshua, you look at Andy Ruiz, you look at these guys. and Bias Ego, who makes 8,000 videos a day about Anthony Joshua. And we understand what it is. It's clout chasing at its finest. And truly, I believe that Anthony Joshua is still better than Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. And the reason why I feel that way is because it takes a special type of fighter to beat Anthony Joshua. And that was Andy Ruiz, who caught him with a good shot, hurt him, staggered him, and stopped him. That's what Andy Ruiz did. Not many fighters can do what Andy Ruiz did because not many fighters are Andy Ruiz. You have to understand that Andy Ruiz has a specialized skill set that makes him able to do those things. People overlook him and say, oh, Anthony Joshua, well, he was exposed. How can a unified champion of the world who's fought the top level of opposition, who has the same best win on his resume that Tyson Fury has, and Tyson Fury was the guy who was scared to give him a rematch. And you can, and then even when Tyson Fury fought Vladimir Klitschko, that doesn't even count because there's a lot of suspicion that he was on something, that he was juicing because he was failing drug tests. See, there's facts, and when we bring facts into the equation, people don't like to deal in facts. So Tyson Fury has a big question mark, and then no wonder Tyson Fury doesn't fight the best fight after fight after fight. And they say Deontay Wilder is the best. Deontay Wilder is the worst technically sound boxer in boxing today. Deontay Wilder is a tomato can with a big right hand. That's what Deontay Wilder is. And you know what? He's knocked out bum after bum after bum. And when he stepped up in competition against Tyson Fury, he robbed Tyson Fury. Not him personally, but the judges. It's unfortunate. Deontay Wilder normally screams bomb squad after all of his victories. He was eerily silent in the Tyson Fury fight. So you have to be honest and unbiased, and that's what we're going to be. We're going to be honest and unbiased about this. Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz, honestly, that's the only two fighters that are the real fighters, because Anthony Joshua fights nothing but the best fight after fight after fight. No wonder he took a loss, because you're going to lose when you fight nothing but the best. And then for people to say Anthony Joshua is trash, but Andy Ruiz is good, that means that if Anthony Joshua is trash, then Andy Ruiz win didn't mean anything. That means Andy Ruiz can't beat anybody else. That means it was a fluke. That means it meant nothing. See, you can't have it both ways. You have to be honest and unbiased when you analyze it. Andy Ruiz is a very good and special fighter, and right now he's number one in the heavyweight division because he beat the best heavyweight in the heavyweight division. He beat the best heavyweight who had the most belts. He beat the best heavyweight who's fought the best competition. He's beat the highest ranked heavyweight. So how is Andy Ruiz not the best heavyweight? That doesn't mean that we believe Andy Ruiz can beat everybody hands down. That's not what that means. It just means on paper his resume is better than Tyson Fury's and Deontay Wilder because he has the better win than any of those guys, point blank, period. And there's a huge asterisk by Vladimir Klitschko and Tyson Fury's win. See, you have to be honest and unbiased when you analyze these things. You can't come from a world of fanboys. At the end of the day, you're going to see Anthony Joshua rise again. You're going to see the best fight the best. But at the end of the day, we all know what's really going on. The PBC fighters are duckers and frauds. They have a same formula. You see Gervonta Tank Davis calls out Tevin Farmer, talks about Tevin Farmer, but won't fight Tevin Farmer. You see Errol Spence Jr. saying he wants to fight the best. It's strap season. He wants all the belt. When he had an opportunity to get Crawford's belt, he passed on it to fight Mikey Garcia for a paycheck. Let's be honest and unbiased. He doesn't want the best. He doesn't want the belts. He wants the belts when it's convenient to want the belt. See, you have to be honest and unbiased. Deontay Wilder said, oh, now we see who was ducking who. How was that when you lost $100 million? Because the fight with Anthony Joshua will never be what it was because you ducked when you had a chance to fight him. But the problem with that is Anthony Joshua is an elite level fighter who will rise again, and he may still ultimately beat Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. And the truth and honest and unbiased facts is the LDBC is garbage and trash. And if you're subscribed to them, then you're listening to a casual boxing station. If you're listening to Boxing Ego, you're listening to a casual boxing fan. And all of these guys are all biased. All of these guys are all PBC fanboys. These guys would never go against the PBC. These guys are only fan for the PBC, and these guys only give you information and a biased perspective for the PBC. We have to be honest and unbiased. We give credit where credit is due, and unfortunately, there's no credit due. Once again, unbiased as always, it's the IBFP. Please share, like, and you must absolutely subscribe.